a US-brokered ceasefire between Russia and Ukraine is already unraveling. Moscow accused Kyiv of launching drone and artillery attacks across multiple frontline sectors just hours after President Donald Trump announced the temporary truce as a possible beginning of the end to the war. Russia's defense ministry says Ukraine committed more than 1,000 ceasefire violations during the three-day pause. Moscow claims Ukrainian forces targeted Russian positions and civilian areas with drones, shelling, and artillery fire, forcing Russian troops to respond in kind as frontline clashes intensified again.
It is nice that as of now there have been no massive attacks of missile strikes or air strikes, but there was no peace in the frontline areas. In the communities near the front, the Russians continued their assault activity in those areas that are key for them. There are shelling. There were frontline strikes of various types on the front. Over the past day and today, there have been more than 150 assault actions, more than 100 shelling, and almost 10,000 strikes by kamikaze drones.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy accused Russia of ignoring the ceasefire, while warning Kyiv could launch immediate and significant retaliation if attacks continue.
Yesterday and today, Ukraine refrained from long-range actions in response to the absence of Russian massive attacks. In the future, we will react in the same mirror manner. And if the Russians decide to return to a full-scale war, our sanctions for this will be immediately noticeable.
The Kremlin says peace talks cannot move forward unless Ukrainian troops withdraw from the Donbas region. Senior Russian aide Yuri Ushakov insisted Moscow would not compromise on its core demands, even as US-led diplomacy continues. Russia says battlefield realities must shape any future settlement.
They, the West, promised assistance to Ukraine and began to escalate the confrontation with Russia, which continues to this day. I think the matter is coming to an end, but it's still a serious matter. The question arises, why? Firstly, they were expecting a crushing defeat for Russia, as we know well.
The latest ceasefire breakdown highlights the deep mistrust between Moscow and Kyiv after more than 4 years of war. Despite diplomatic efforts and prisoner swap agreements, drones, artillery fire, and frontline clashes continue to dominate the conflict, raising fresh doubts over whether peace talks can survive the realities of the battlefield.